Okay, we've started the new tutorials. So if you open Photoshop, this is what you're going to see. Welcome to Photoshop. We have File, Edit, Image, Layer, Type, Select, Filter, 3D, View, Plugins, Window, and Help. But this is what we are going to do. We are going to select New File. After selecting New File, you go to select the width size to be 1080, height 1080. And now we are going to rename the Photoshop. Rename our project that we're going to do. So I'm renaming it Design Tutorials 1. So after that, this side, just leave this, set it to private, default, yes, and click on Create. So after clicking on Create, this is what we see. So now we are going to talk about these tools here, these tools that we have here. But before we talk about these tools that we have here, now let me go to File, and let's add an image for us to begin with the tutorial. So we click on Place Embedded. After clicking on Place Embedded, let's select this tool here. Okay, this file here. So it's working. Okay, good. Now we are going to work on this. Correct? Yes. So this is the Move tool, and this is the Lasso tool. I'm going to talk about each of them one after the other. So the Move tool, this is what the Move tool does. It practically moves anything that we have on our user interface. So this is the Move tool. You see, it moves a selection or a layer. So if you have a layer here, let's say this, let's create another layer. So let's say we have another layer here, and we really want to move in between the layers. You can select the layer and drag it up. Get it? If you drag it up, it moves. If you drag this layer down too, it moves. So this is basically what the Move tool does. Okay, now we are going to talk about the Lasso tool. So now the Lasso tool, this is what the Lasso tool does. It says that it makes freehand selections. So the freehand selection means that, let's say you have this design here, and you really want to cut the design out of what we see here. So this is what we do. You left click on your mouse, you still hold it, you drag it around the design that you really want to cut, and after that it makes the selection like this. So you right click again, and you see this pop-up menu. It opens, and you click on Layer via Copy. So Layer via Copy, that's why you will see, unless you go to Move and you drag this one, you see after dragging, it has created a duplicate of what we have here. It has created a duplicate of what we have here. You get it? Yeah, so this is what the Lasso tool does. So let me drag this one up, and let me drag this one here, and let's move on to the next one. So this one is the Crop tool. The Crop tool, it basically, you know what it does. It crops things here. That's it. And this one, let's go to the eyedropper tool. So the eyedropper tool, let's say I have this circle here. I have this circle here, right? I have this circle here, and I really want to select this color. You see, after selecting the color, this is what it has taken effect on the initial color profile that we have here. You get it? Initially it was this, but after selecting this eyedropper tool, and let's say, just look at where the black is. You see, it has changed the color. So it changes colors, or it helps you to select colors. That's what the eyedropper tool does. The eyedropper tool. So let's say if I select this black color, you see, it has taken effect. If I select the background, it has also taken effect. That's what the eyedropper tool does. Now Okay, let me delete this one and let's move on. Oh, okay, yeah, delete it. So after the eyedropper 2, we are going to brush 2. The brush 2, what it does is it paints custom brush strokes. So these are the custom brush strokes here. We have round, we have hard, we have soft round pressure size, we have hard round pressure size, we have also soft round pressure opacity. It is plenty, you know. So what you want, you pick it and you use it for your work. Now let's move on to the round soft round brush. So the size, you can increase the size, and the hardness, you can increase the hardness. Depends on you what you really want to do. So now we have our 4 color set to orange. Yeah, so that's the 4 color. Now let's say I really want to do something here. You see the brush 2, the brush 2 is working, the brush 2 is working. You get it? So this is what the brush 2 is like, using it for painting. Or even better still, if you do not want to use brush 2, oh yeah, I'm using Ctrl Z to undo this one. So let's say the brush 2, I really want to make it very huge, not the design. I increase the size of the brush and I just select once. So after selecting once, you click on Ctrl NT. So the Ctrl NT will select, oh sorry, I should have created a new layer for this one. It has appeared on this one. Now I should create a new layer. So new layer, let's say this is the brush. Okay, good. Ctrl T. Ctrl T will help me select this one and select all, or select the layer within the flyer. So you click on shift from your keyboard and left click from your mouse and you zoom, you know, you increase, you increase the size of the brush that you did. Or better still, if you don't want it this way, you can still release your hands from the control from the shift and you do this one as you see on your screen. So this is the brush 2. Now let's move on to another 2 we have here. So let me put it here. So after the brush 2, we have history brush 2. The history brush 2 restores part of an image to an earlier state. You get an image to an earlier state. So let's say let me do something here for you. So let's say we have this image here. Let me zoom. Ctrl Z, increase the size. Ctrl T and shift and increase, and you go to OK. You move to this side and you let's say this one, we have this one here. So now I'm selecting this color. So this is the 4 color and this one is the back color, the background color. So in the history brush, you know, you see what you okay here, you see the white is restored, you got it, to an initial color because the background is white. That's why we are doing it this way. Great. So this is that we've done with the history brush. You see how the history brush okay, so okay, now let's move on to gradient 2. So for the gradient 2, after selecting the gradient 2, this is what we're going to do. We are going to change, let's say, the background gradient. You get it? So let's select this color here. Okay, the 4 color, you can choose white or you can choose this color too, but the darker one. Select okay. So we have this 2 here. So let me close this one and let me drag this one. Let me decrease the size of this one. Ctrl T, shift and left click and you zoom it. Okay, so that's basically what we do. So now the gradient, yes, the gradient. So this one, these are the gradient styles that you want. We have the linear gradient and we have the radial gradient, and this one we have angle gradient and we have reflected and we have diamond. So let's start with the linear gradient. So the linear gradient, if you start from this end point, you still click on the left click on your mouse, you drag to this side, boom, linear gradient has occurred. Or you start from here, you drag to this side, boom, linear gradient has occurred. Or here to here, boom, linear gradient has occurred. So anywhere you basically want your gradient to occur, it will happen. Now let's move on to the radial gradient. So the radial gradient, let's say you select from this part, and the radiant, the circle, you see, because it's in a radial form, the 4 color that you selected will occur first, and the lighter color will appear second. So this is what the gradient color does. This is also the angle gradient. So the angle gradient, this is it. You see, this is the angle gradient. Good. This one too is reflected gradient. So this is the reflected gradient. So now you see how we are not going to talk about much with this one. So let's say linear gradients. Okay, we are done. So now let's go to then another 2 is dodge 2. The dodge 2 normally it cleans some of the darker parts in your text. You get it? You see, because this one we have a darker image or a darker background here. That's why I'm using the dodge 2 to wipe some of the darkness away. But mostly I do not use dodge 2. You get it? I do not use dodge 2. So you can choose to ignore that. The test 2. So this is the test 2. If you really want to add text or type, you just select it. You come to your canvas, you click on it. After clicking on it, you see, after clicking on it, let me set this one to automatic and everything to automatic, so that you see initially if you're using Photoshop, it doesn't scale your way. After clicking on it, this is what we're going to get. You can choose the font size from here. You get it. Good. So let's say let's say this is what we really want to type. We really want to type design tutorial design tutorial 1. Design tutorial 1. Good. So design tutorials 1. After typing the design tutorials 1, this is what we see here. So the text has occurred. So now you can do multiple things with your text here by going to the character here. So if you go to this character here, we have a lot of default fonts that we've given. Some of the fonts you can download online, and others too you can just, it's default. So let's select this one, Bernard MT condensed font. You can choose any font of your choice. So after selecting this one, design tutorials 1, now we are going to choose or change the sizes of this font. So after this one, you can go back to the text size. You can select any size you need. So I selected 24, that's why it has increased. And this is what we're going to do. The scaling, the tracking of the set. Let's say you really want to space out some of the text. You go here, you go to the tracking, you click on one of them. You see, it has set it apart. It has been set apart. Yep. So -100, it has merged. You get, yeah. So let's say you select thin, or you can select 0, any one that you want. So let's keep it this way. Let's say we've selected 5. Good. And this one to this one, it is the set leading to. So the set leading to, let's say you have these tests, right? Let me see, design tutorial. Let me use this one. Yeah, enter. After clicking on enter, this one we see. Let's say we have this one. So this is what we're going to use it for. Go back to move, and still it should be selected. You go back to this one, the set set leading to here. Your set leading to here. So you select 10. if you select it, it drags the lead into, it drags what we've entered downwards to up, you know, to the leading one, and this one too. So the one, anything that you do here, it occurs there. Okay, so basically that's what it's used to do. So if you come down here, we have alignment. Align to the left, it drags your design to the your text to the left. Align to the right, it drags your text to the right, and align to the center. Align to the center too, it drags all your designs to the center. You can change your text color from this side. You can choose any color of your choice. You get it, any color of your choice that you really want to use for this one. So this is it. This is all that we need to talk about the text. Oh yes, and let's say you do not have this one here, the character. If you can't see here, you go to Windows. After going to Windows, you can go to character. Go to character. Boom. That is it. You can change your text size here. Your you know, this one is already set to regular, but we have other things that you can do. So let me select another text. Let's say Montserrat font. So after selecting Montserrat font, you know, Montserrat font will give you different. We have bold, medium here. So after selecting medium, you see it will take effect on it. We have bold. After selecting bold too, it will take effect on it. And we have we have block here. So this is basically what the text 2 does. We are going to this too, the shape 2 or the whatever 2. Now, okay, so I didn't tell you something about the text 2 here. So the text 2, you see, we have some things here. So if you really want to do this, Control A. If you click Control A, but make sure it is already here. You've already selected a move to. So you see, this one too is the same as the alignment. So it adjusts your text to the left for you automatically by default, and to the center too for you, to the left for you. So this one is basically used for alignment. You see, center, you get it to the top, to the button. So this one is this is what it does. So let's say you are done and you really want to do another one. Well, how will you do? Don't worry. Control D. Control D. Someone will say Control D is done. It's not done, please. Okay, so now let me scale this one and let's move on to the shape 2. So basically shift 1. Okay, and let me drag this one up. Good. So this one is the shape 2. So for the shape 2 we have rectangle, we have ellipse, which is the circle, triangle, polygon, line, and the custom shape. So rectangle. So the rectangle, so selecting the rectangle, you see, you draw your rectangle. Very nice. You draw a rectangle here, or better still, you can use it as your square, whatever you really want. Now let's come back here. You see this one, if you really want to change the shape between the edges, see the mouse pointer, see here is there. Now let me move it. You see, you select that pivot and you right click, sorry, you left click, you drag. If you drag, the more you drag, the shape it becomes. You see, if you drag it backwards, it sends to automatic, or better still, you can use these ones here. So it's the same as these ones here. So if I drag this one, it changes. You see, it's the same thing as using this one. It's either you use that or that one. So let's set it to default. So the text 2 to the rectangle 2 to, we have stroke here. So the stroke is basically you select, let's say, this color. You see, after selecting this color, let me show you how the color. Good. After selecting this color, you see, So that is the stroke. And the stroke too, you can make some changes, the sizes of the stroke of the rectangle. So let's say I'm selecting 29, and the stroke too has its own design. So we have the continuous stroke, and we have the short dashes stroke, and we have the dotted stroke options. So anyone you select for your design will be nice and good. So mostly, let's say 18. Okay, you can, let's say 10. 10 is okay, good. So that is basically the rectangle too. So now let me scale it down so that we can do another. Design there. So Control T, Shift. Drag it, or better so you can release, you drag it small. So that is the same thing applies to the ellipse 2. The ellipse 2 is the same, but you see the ellipse 2, if you do not hold shift, look at what it does. It tends to over, it becomes very, but we need a continuous circle. So you click on shift, automatic it drags it for you. So it's like holding some part in position and it is dragging it for you. You get that? Yes, because we did this type. So now let me change this one to continuous, so you to take effect on it, and let me change this color to, let's say, blue. Yes, so this is the circle too. Let me put this one to here, and let me select another to the triangle. Now let me change the size, decrease the size a little bit, and we work on it. Okay, good. So decreasing the size a little bit, this is what we get. Good. Now let me select triangle to, so that you see. So the triangle 2 has been selected, and now this 2 is the same thing as the circle. You can choose to do it this way, or you can choose to hold shift to draw the triangle evenly for you. So the triangle 2 has been selected, and let's say this should, well, let me see. Good. So this is what it does. Basically, this is what it does for you. We have so many shape 2s that we have here. So this is the shape 2. Now we'll be going to the move and the zoom 2. The zoom 2 is basically, if you select the zoom 2, just look at here. We have plus, we have minus. So the plus initially, it means zoom in, and minus 2 means zoom out. You get that? Minus 2 means zoom out. So don't worry, if you do not want to use this tool here, we have shortcuts that you can use. So basically the shortcut you can use is Control minus. So Control minus is zooming it out, and Control plus is also zooming it in. Control minus zoom out, Control plus zoom in, minus out, plus in. So you have to get to know some of the short hands in design, so that it becomes very good for you if you are trying to design very quickly. Good. So that is the zoom 2. Now we'll move on to another 2 in the next section. How to remove this image from the background, and we will only get the image. So we will go to quick selection. After going to quick selection, you can choose to drag the mouse to the image so that you select it on your own, and you will right click and select via through copy, layer via copy. So this is how it happens, right? We've selected. Or you can basically use the Photoshop design tools, which is select subject. So the select subject, what it does is it automatically selects the image for you. It removes the background image for you automatically, without, let's say, you going through the main steps. So let's wait for it to load and it will come. Yes, you see, it has selected it already. So you can go to right click and layer via copy, and it will do it for you, to do just this for you. Okay, now let's go to the next tool, which is the blur tool. So the blur tool, what it basically does is you can use it to blur some part of your design or your image, but mostly I don't use this one. I go to filter, and I go to blur, and I can go to Gaussian blur, and I can, you see, it's blurring. Yes, so it's either you use this one or you go to filter, blur. We have so many blurs here. We have motion blur, so this is what motion blurs does. So it's either you choose your blur from this side or you choose your blur from that side. Now let's move on to the pen tool. The pen tool. Okay, so the pen tool, what it does, let me close this one. What the pen tool does is you can create multiple designs from these ones, right? Yeah, multiple designs from these ones. So you come to the your Photoshop design, you select this part, right, and left click, and another left click, you hold. If you want to create a shape, this, you get it, this part too, you really want to create a shape, you do it. You really want to create a shape, you do it. You hold, you don't release the mouse, but you drag it, and it creates the shape nicely for you. So mostly this is what the pen tool is used for. And the pan tool is to drag in between layers, or you can drag from this side to this side. You get it? Maybe you really want to drag this layers up and down. So that's what it does. That's what it does. Well, so this is basically what we'll be learning. These are the tools that we've learned. Let's say we are done with our flyer and we really want to save it or export it. So this is what you do. You go to file, export. We have quick export here. It's either you choose the quick export, that will export it quickly for you. So you send it to where you really want it to go. So I think I'll send it to this folder because this is where I'm doing the tutorial on. And you can rename it and you save. Or you go to file, you go to export, you go to export as. You get it? So if you go to export as, another layer will open, or another pop-up menu will open. So this is export as. You get it? Yes. So if you can change the font image size here and the canvas size. So this whole thing is the canvas size, or you can go to the format, select JPG and increase this one, the quality, or you can just leave it to PNG and you click on export. It doesn't matter how you do it, you get it. Any export is export. So that's how quickly you can export this file after you are done with your design of flyer. So nextly we will be designing flyer using the shapes and using the tools that I've taught you. So you can practice it. I will send the image to attach the link video so that you can practice with it, this image and this one.